Welcome to Washington State Non-Emergency Medical Transportation. Paratransit Services is contracted by the Washington State Health Care Authority to provide non-emergent medical transportation assistance for eligible individuals through Medicaid and Apple Health. We can provide services for residents in Clallam, Jefferson, Kitsap, Pierce, Mason, Thurston, Lewis, Grays Harbor, and Pacific counties. Paratransit Services can provide assistance with ride scheduling, fuel and/or mileage reimbursement, other reimbursement such as bridge toll and parking, bus fare, and ferry fare. Please be aware that all trips must be to and/or from Medicaid billable services and occur within 30 days following the current date. Requests for service must also be made at least 2 business days in the future. In today's video, we will be covering the step-by-step process of how to request services online using the Trip Booking Wizard. Let's get started. Step 1. To access the Trip Booking Wizard, first open your preferred internet browser. In the search bar, located at the top of your screen, type the website address www.wanemt.com, then click Search. This will bring you to the home screen for our Washington State NEMT brokerage website. Once you have reached the home screen, click on the Request a Trip button to access the Trip Booking Wizard. Once you click on the Request a Trip button, a message will appear on the screen directing the user to disable any and all pop-up blockers on your web browser. You must allow pop-ups in order to access the Trip Booking Wizard application. Press the OK or Close button. If pop-up blockers are already disabled on your device, this will open the Trip Booking Wizard application. If pop-up blockers are active on your device, you will be redirected to a screen that looks like this. If the Trip Booking Wizard does not load, please disable pop-up blockers on your device. Refresh the home page, then click the Request a Trip button again. Step 2. Once you have the Trip Booking Wizard application open, please read through the guidelines provided. When you are ready to begin filling out your request, click the Next button. This will bring you to the Basic Information screen. Here is where you will begin inputting information about the client's request for service. You will start by entering the date of the client's trip. Depending on your device, you may have to type in the date or use the calendar window to select the date. In the next cell, enter the email address that we will send the final confirmation email to. Please be sure there are no spaces before, in, or after your email address in this cell. Next, read the following 3 questions carefully. All 3 of these questions must be answered yes in order to proceed with scheduling online. If any of them cannot be answered yes, you will need to call in to speak to someone in our call center. Finally, you are asked to select the appropriate trip type, one-way or 2 ways. Most trips will be 2-way. A one-way trip would be for situations where the client already has a ride to or from the appointment. When you are done, review the information you've entered is correct, then click the Next button. You will be directed to the Client/Trip information screen. Enter the client's first name, middle initial, and last name in the appropriate cells. Next, enter the client's date of birth. Please be sure to follow the format provided and include the dash marks in the appropriate locations. For example, if the client's birthday is February 20th, 1960, please type 02-20-1960. Next, enter the client's phone number. Similar to the previous cell, please follow the format provided and include the dash marks in the appropriate locations. For example, please type 360-555-5555. Next, you will type the name and phone number of the person who is filling out this request. This may be yourself as the client or a relative or caregiver providing assistance. In our example, John is the client and his caregiver, Tracy, is completing this form. Tracy would type her name, including the last initial, period, space, and then phone number, being sure to include the dash marks in their appropriate places. Finally, type the relationship to the client. If you are filling out this request for yourself, please type Self. When you are done, review the information you've entered is correct, then click the Next button. You will now be directed to the trip information screen. In the first cell, type the pickup address. This will normally be the client's home address. If the client lives in an apartment, please include their unit number on the first line as indicated in the example. Please note, the pickup city and pickup zip code must be typed on their specified lines. Next, enter the time of your scheduled appointment. Depending on your device, you can click on the clock icon inside the cell to select the appropriate time. Please make sure that either AM or PM is selected inside this cell. You may type in military time, however it will show up as standard 12-hour time. Next, read the following questions carefully. Please be sure to only select yes if the answer to the question is actually yes. Finally, please select the type of request you are submitting. Ride is pre-selected in this section. A fuel request is for those who will be using a personal vehicle and already have a fuel card issued by Paratransit services. Bus pass requests can be selected if that is your regular mode of transportation and you already have a county-specific bus pass or an ORCA card issued by Paratransit services. Please select Other if you are requesting reimbursement for mileage, bridge tolls, parking, or ferry fares. When you are done, review the information you've entered is correct, then click the Next button. On this screen, you will be directed to input information about the drop-off location for your request. Type in the appointment address and return time following the same guidelines outlined on the previous screen. After you have entered this information, please choose from one of the different appointment type options. Please note that whichever appointment type you select will have to be specified upon once you reach the next screen. When you are done, review the information you've entered is correct, then click the Next button. A message may appear on your screen. This is a reminder that you will have to specify the reason for the appointment type on the next screen. Please click OK. You will be directed to the Special Instructions screen. This is the final section you will need to complete before submitting your request. In the first cell, please type the name of the doctor or department you will be seen by. You may include both the doctor's name and department in this cell, or one of the two options. In the next cell, please provide the number for the doctor or department you will be seen by. Please be sure to follow the established format by including the dash marks in the appropriate locations. Please note, there should be no spaces in this cell. Finally, in the instruction cell, you will need to provide sufficient detail regarding your appointment type. You must complete this cell in order for your request to be valid. If you have repeating appointments to the same location, you may enter those details, being sure to include the dates and times of your appointments, and request that we schedule your trips out for the next 30 days. This is also where you would enter requests for ferry funds on your ORCA card, parking or toll reimbursement, and mileage reimbursement. Please also specify if you do not have a fuel card from us or your vehicle documents are not up to date. When you are done, review the information you've entered is correct, then click the Next button. Step 3. You are now ready to submit your request to our server. If you need to review any of the information you have entered, please use the Back button on the wizard's pop-up rather than your keyboard or web browser's Back button. When you are sure all the information entered is correct, please click the Send button. A data file should appear on your screen containing all the data you entered, along with a confirmation code that proves your request was submitted. Please save, print, or screenshot this data form, as you will not be able to access it once you exit this screen. The confirmation code for your trip will also be sent to your email. You will need this code in order to check the status of your trip. You can check the status of your trip by calling the number on your screen associated with the county of your transportation, then selecting option 4. When calling in, please have your confirmation code ready so we can quickly locate your trip information. Please note, this confirmation code must also be entered on any reimbursement claims forms. You can also check the status of your ride and even cancel that request online on our website at www.wanemt.com and selecting Check Status or Cancel a Trip. When checking the status or canceling a trip, please use the client's last name and their confirmation code or their Medicaid provider 1ID number. We recommend checking the status of your trip the business day before the scheduled appointment date. You may now go through this booking process as many times as necessary to schedule any trips within the next 30 days. If you have any questions or issues with scheduling your trips, please call our call center and one of our customer service representatives would be happy to assist you. Thank you for watching our tutorial on how to request services online.